Hello everybody, this is Dr. Cole, Sunday evening, October 4th, as we head into week 8 of Political Science 1013 for the fall term. We're through with the midterm exam now for most students. We did reopen it briefly this afternoon and evening. There may be a few of you who have not taken it, but many of you will be seeing this message Monday, so we should all be through with the midterm exam by then. We're moving into to the second half of the course. The notes for units 5 and 6 are up on the course website. That's the presidency and the federal bureaucracy. We will take quiz 5 next week on Tuesday the 13th. And we will chat on Monday night the 12th for 45 minutes. You have 3 things to read about the presidency. One of them has to do with the presidential election campaign and the political conventions in particular. So we will be doing that not this week, but the following week. We'll chat Monday night the 12th before we take the quiz number 5 on Tuesday, October 13th. Everybody, I also got a short message out to the effect that the class note file for Unit 5 on the presidency is quite big. It includes a lot of photographs. So the Microsoft Word and PDF versions of that have been split. So look through Part A first and then Part B. The PowerPoint presentation itself is intact. It hasn't been split. But the Microsoft Word and PDF versions have been. So be alert to that as you go through the material for Unit 5 on the presidency. Everyone, I got an announcement out with a document attached that is up on the course website, and it's been emailed to you with the term paper topics. Now, the term paper, of course, is optional. It can help you to drop a low grade from earlier in the term, especially on an exam. There's a list of 15 topics with some material on each to help you get started on your research. The first 6 of those topics are new for the fall 2020 term. These include pieces of legislation that have come up over the last few months since the pandemic set in, especially, although they're not all pandemic related. You do have the various coronavirus relief bills, one that's been passed already and proposes to extend that relief, although Congress has not been able to agree on that up to now. There are also a couple of police reform bills before Congress. There's a Democratic and a Republican version. That, of course, comes out of the civil unrest that followed the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis back in the spring. And there are some other items of legislation there, too. There's one piece of legislation specifically for the relief of restaurants in the wake of the coronavirus. And I mentioned in the notes, if an enterprising student wanted to take that topic, you could augment your research by interviewing a restaurateur in your area, finding out how their business has been impacted by the pandemic and what kind of relief, if any, they feel that they need. A good thing to do if you choose that topic. It's optional and not mandatory, but it can help you raise a low grade. It needs to be in the weekend of December 12th, preferably Saturday, December 12th, if not earlier. That would give me Sunday and Monday to grade the papers before grades are due at noon on Tuesday, December 15th. Okay, so try to get those in no later than Saturday, December 12th, or perhaps a little earlier if you can. There's 15 topics, so I hope there'll be something on there that's of interest to everybody. If you would like to communicate with me about your choice of topic in advance of working on the paper, please do so, and I'll try to give you some pointers. If you would like to send me a draft of your paper before you turn it in, it might be wise to do that before the Thanksgiving holidays, and I'll try to respond with some constructive criticism. Everyone, the debate took place Tuesday night, Tuesday the 29th. It, of course, Attracted quite a bit of commentary in the press because of the way that it went. I did not mention that in the video last week, but we got an announcement out and I got a few assignments returned, very brief commentaries on the debate. There's 3 debates remaining, and there's a 5-point assignment available on each of those debates. We're going to try to get a reminder out before this week's vice presidential debate, which is scheduled for Wednesday night the 7th. Now, of course, the president has been hospitalized. And that means, I suppose, we're not 100% sure what's going to happen with the last 2 presidential debates on Thursday the 15th and again a week later on Thursday the 22nd. And we'll be monitoring the media to see what happens there. Recent reports in the media today suggest the president might be discharged as early as tomorrow, and in that case, maybe he'll be able to go ahead with the debate on the 15th and again on the 22nd. We'll wait to see on that. Everybody, as you read through the class notes for Unit 5 on the presidency, you'll come to a point where there's a side that's entitled the 2020 Presidential Campaign. And in those notes, I mention several of the scenarios that have been speculated about, because it is anticipated that we're likely to have a dispute about the counting of the votes and the determination of the winner, because so many ballots apparently will be cast by mail rather than in person at the ballot box on Election Day, because, of course, of the coronavirus pandemic. And I spell out a lengthy list of scenarios, and we really don't know if any of those will take place, but some of them may. It's anticipated at the very least that we won't know the winner on Tuesday night the 3rd, or maybe even Wednesday morning, November 4th. It may be a few days after that, and that in itself could give rise to some disputes. Now, everybody, I put that slide together in those notes a few hours before it was announced that the president had tested positive and would be hospitalized, which raises additional possibilities. What if he does not recover? What if, heaven forbid, he loses his life? Or short of that, what if he is still ill later this month when the last 2 debates are scheduled? What if he is still hospitalized at that time? Might people speculate that he might not be able to serve if reelected, depending on what the long-term events of his illness might be? Now, it's a bit premature to speculate about that, but it could happen because the president's age and medical condition are such that he is at some risk from the COVID-19 disease. So we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out over the next few days. But it raises some possibilities that weren't raised in those notes that I placed in the class notes about what might happen in the aftermath of Election Day, Tuesday, November 3rd. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But remember, there are scheduled to be 3 more debates and 3 more chances for you to pick up 5 extra credit points on each of those. The vice presidential debate later this week on Wednesday, October 7th, And then 8 days after that, Thursday the 15th, and then 1 week after that, Thursday the 22nd, the last 2 presidential debates are scheduled. So assuming those go forward as planned, we'll be offering students 5 points extra credit for a write-up summarizing what they thought were the high points of any of those debates. So keep that in mind if you'd like to pick up some extra points as we go through the month of October leading up to the election on Tuesday, November 3rd. So be looking at those class notes and those readings for quiz number 5 next week. And we will be chatting in the chat room with some of you, I imagine, Monday night the 12th before we take quiz 5 on Tuesday the 13th. So be looking at that Unit 5 material, and we'll talk to you again a week from tonight.